Hi, I'm Roxanne Wilson. I'm going to be doing a behavior skills training on the PEAK Relational Training System. Now, the PEAK is an evidence-based language curriculum that teaches learning to learn. It is a guide for teaching basic and advanced language skills from a contemporary behavior analytic approach. PEAK can be used to support language skills, flexible thinking, and sticking with it when things get harder. The PEAK is made to easily be taught to people to teach. It is good for ABA clinics and it's also really good in school systems. Okay, so first off, I want to start with I chose the PEAK assessment because it is the only other assessment that I've actually seen done at my clinic. We typically stick with the VB-MAP, but I've seen the PEAK done and I also thought it was super interesting. So I wanted to try it myself and I wanted to learn more about it. Now, the PEAK was created in the spring of 2008 by Mark R. Dixon. It was in response to the growing need for a modern, comprehensive, and easy-to-use ABA assessment and treatment program for children and adults with disabilities. It was not specific to autism. It is anyone with disabilities. Dr. Dixon is a board-certified behavior analyst with a doctorate. He has published 12 books, 230 peer-reviewed journals, and he's given thousands of presentations around the world. In my research about Dixon, I feel that Dixon is a caring person. He seems to really be invested in ABA and helping families and people with disabilities. And I think that he shows this through his research that is that guides his practice. He has generated millions of dollars for funding behavior analysis in school systems. This right now is super important. I believe that we need to get ABA in school systems. And he's also given millions of dollars for treatment facilities. He's also created multiple clinics for persons with disabilities and related conditions. All in all, Mark Dixon seems like someone that I could stand behind and I would love to work with. The PEAK assessment is based on the relational frame theory. Therefore, I believe it's important to review the relational frame theory. RFT, which is relational frame theory, states that verbal behavior puts stimuli or events in relation and to act or react to stimuli based on those resulting relations. This behavior is learned in early language training and is a generalized operative. It is a way of saying that people can put things in numerous types of relations. Metaphorically speaking, we put things into frames. This relating is not based on any physical properties of the related stimuli, but rather the relations come about as a result of the specific form of human behavior. This behavior is controlled by contextual cues. RFT is characterized by three phenomena: mutual entailment, combinatorial mutual entailment, transformation of stimulus functions according to those established relations. Now, all of this information I took out of this Learning RFT book. It's a very good book. I suggest that if you have the money to buy it on Amazon, it's rather cheap actually. The next 3 slides, I will be going over the 3 characterized phenomena of RFT. Let's start with mutual entailment. It states that the relations we create can either be identical or opposite. An example would be when I say a chair is equal to a seat, you should be able to say, oh, so a seat is equal to a chair. Now, something that would be the opposite is if Sam arrived before Roxy, then we can say that Roxy arrived after Sam. Moving on to combinatorial mutual entailment. I'm going to give you a real life example about how we make friends. So consider you're a new student in high school and you're at a new school and you're looking to make some new friends. So you discover that if Larry is the opposite of Ben and Ben is the opposite of Peter, we see that Peter is similar to Larry, right? So you really enjoy hanging out with Ben. Then, if we learn that Caleb and Victor are similar to Ben and that Peter is kind of annoying because you had him come over and your mom told you that Peter was kind of annoying and she didn't want him back, we suddenly know how to relate all those involved. Now we take the same scenario and we move it to transformation of stimulus functions according to established relations. So you came up with these relations in your head when you were in a new high school trying to make friends, right? So here, according to this established relation, the motivating operation for Peter and Larry is that they act as abolishing stimuli. Their presence decreases my behavior of engaging with them because they're annoying. Victor and Caleb is an establishing stimuli. Victor, Caleb, and Ben are establishing stimuli, aka their presence will increase the likelihood of me wanting to engage with them. So this is how we create friends and we make relationships and how we use our environment and our events to decide and make relations on people. Not only on people, on items, choices, all of our choices. We do this with every walk of life. PEAK stands for Promoting Emergence of Advanced Knowledge. Now, with the PEAK, that is the goal with our clients, is to give them more knowledge. The age range is from 18th months through the teenage years, and PEAK includes verbal behavior type of targets within its programming, such as TACS, MANS, and interverbal. Now, the first module of PEAK has been shown to correlate with the BBMAP. So this means that many of the same skills are targeted across those three programs. Now, where the PEAK and the BBMAP differ is in the next three modules. So module 1 is much like the BBMAP. Now module 2, 3, and 4, they start to differ. They go beyond the first module and start all various programs designed to promote generalization in higher order language and cognition abilities. PEAK Relational Training System currently contains 4 books. These are learning modules that reflect each of the 4 ways that we currently understand how people learn new skills. The first book is PEAK Direct Training, and I will discuss that one in the next slide. The second book is PEAK Generalization. In here, we teach through positive reinforcement, increasing the amount of information that is gained as learners move throughout the environment. Here, we are trying to make sure the client can take the program taught in the center into the home, into the community. We want that child to be able to do what we teach in all different environments because that's reality. The third book is PEAK Equivalence, and this one goes beyond positive reinforcement, such as rule-governed behavior. Now, stimulus equivalence, I have an example for you here. An example is symmetry. A equals B, so B equals A. An example is, if I show you a picture of a truck and prompt you to choose car, I should be able to show you a picture of a car and you independently choose truck. That is equivalence. Peak 4, the last book, this is the most advanced book. The goal of this module is to encourage learners to identify events that are the same or similar, different or opposite, as well as respond categorical, and to interpret events in the terms of perspectives of others. And that is a very hard skill to teach. Best practice says that we should run assessments concurrently, using the assessment scores to guide which targets to hit in each book. Now, more research is being done on the exact proportion of each module that should be implemented in the intervention program. But if the client is an early learner, it is okay to decide as a team what module assessments to run and make interventions plans from. It is also okay to split up the assessments work sessions if the client has a hard time attending. The assessments do have discontinuous criteria. So for example, in the second module, if the client gets 3 consecutive wrong answers, you stop that assessment entirely. After Module 1, my client was discontinued from assessments 2, 3, and 4 very early. Therefore, I chose to only work from the direct Module 1. Now, the direct assessment is made for earlier learners, and my client is only 4, so this makes complete sense that he would only be able to do the first module. Now, in the direct assessment, you work on things such as making eye contact, attending to the teacher, requesting preferred objects, and labeling things in the environment. Now, more advanced skills in this module are social skills, such as being able to talk in front of an audience, like show and tell, something a child would do in a typical classroom in kindergarten. So after learning that buying the PEAK assessment was going to cost me $65 just for one of the books, I talked to my BCBA and she gave me a little tip, so I decided that I would share it with you. You can actually download and print the assessments for free on the PEAK website. So what you have to do is go to the PEAK website, which I have right here. You click on the purchasing tab, and under that you click on the free clinical resources, and it will give you the whole all of the PEAK assessment guides, and it will take you some time to get it into a binder, but it's definitely worth it to me. Okay, my learner. So I chose to do the PEAK assessment on my best friend's kiddo. He's very familiar with me. I play with him all the time. The only time I actually work with him, though, is when I randomly do these assessments on him. But we play a lot, which, I can't help do the ABA when I play with him. So he is 4 years old. He was diagnosed with a speech delay, but he is typical learning. He loves piggyback rides and playing hide and go seek, and he also loves me, so it works out that he will work hard for me. His name is Anderson, and he's currently in preschool. This is a picture of him being goofy. We definitely took a lot of breaks during this. I didn't want to push him too hard. I want him to associate me with good things. So by the end of it, though, he was sitting down in front of my computer and he was like, okay, let's do it. So he was ready to work, and he's just always such a blast to work with. I love it. The next slides will be me actually doing the assessment with him.
Look at me. Good job! Way to go! Okay, here we go. Look at this image. You see?
Yeah.
Where did the block go? Touch it. Try again. Good boy. I knew it. Way to go. Okay. Okay, do this one, Anderson. 1. Oh, you do it with me, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. High 5. Okay, choose one.
Okay.
Oh, a cookie. I love cookies. Good job, Anderson.
So this is the score I gave him on the last video. You score 1 if he got it right and 0 if he got it wrong. Now you should not have to do any prompts. If you have to prompt at all, it's a 0. So he got look at me just fine, therefore I circled 1. Now when it came to the 3 cups, at first he kind of scrolled. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because we just started and he was still a little distracted. And when I restated my SD as touch this, he did it just fine. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt on that one. And it's at your discretion. Some of these answers, if you think the child wasn't attending, it's okay to repeat it. But if the child was attending, there's no need to replace your SD. Now, for present the 5 stars, I had to physically prompt him when I said do this, so I gave him a 0. I said do this, and I had to move his hand to touch to do what I was doing. He did perfectly fine with choosing 1, and he chose the cookie. Now, this assessment is super user-friendly. It's easy to find everything you need, and it's written very clearly in the book. So I just want to give you an example here. On the last slide, you saw that Anderson could not imitate counting. We have the picture of the stars. I asked him to touch and count with me. Do what I do. 3, 4, 5. He did not, so he got a 0 on that. Here, it tells you a program goal. You would have the day it was introduced and the day it was mastered. And then also here, you would have all the stimulus that you've written down and that you've actually worked on with him. So this is a great example of how easy it is to do the assessment, see where the deficit is, and start writing programs for it.
Here we go. Do this one.
No. No.
Okay. You ready for that piggyback ride?
Yeah.
Okay. Do this. Beautiful! Let's go get that piggy ride!
Okay, so in that last video, you saw Anderson tell me no when I told him to do this, which is something he can easily do, touch his nose. He told me no, so I reassessed motivation and moved on to the next one. I counted as a 0 because he did not comply. Now, we are not creating program goals right now, but it is a good idea to think of potential ideas for programs. So I would just make a note and say possible program of increasing responding. So if this is something we see throughout the assessment, him telling us no, we would definitely want to put some sort of DRO, DRA of increasing responding. And in the next one, he got it together, and I said, do this one, and he did it just fine.
Do this. Right here. Look at you doing it. Good boy. So good. Okay. See. All right. Anderson, do this. There we go. You got it. Beautiful. All right, here we go. Anderson, say ah.
Ah.
Oh, so good. Wow. You know, you're so smart.
I didn't do that.
You want to play with this next?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do 3 more. Ready? Say book.
Book.
Beautiful. Say stand up.
Stand up.
Beautiful. You don't have to do it. Okay, sit down. So this is Jim. Jim says hi. Anderson, what do you say?
Hi.
Hi. Okay, say the dog is big.
I know.
Well, say what I say. Say the dog is big.
A dog is big.
Yeah, the dog is big. Hey, is Ben?
As you saw in the video before, Anderson was able to answer all of these questions independently. He got 1s on all of them, so there is no program goals that I foresee needing to work on based off of these questions.
First we'll do this, then piggy ride. Okay, Anderson, show me the same.
Wiggle.
Yeah, show me. Touch. All right, let's try it again. Show me the same. No, underneath. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, same way. Just like how we did the last one. Ready? Show me the same. Yes, that's it. You got it. Oops. All right, same thing. Ready? Show me the same. Yeah! Okay, this one's a little harder, but you can do it, okay? High five. Ready? Show me the same. Good trying, buddy. Good job. Can you show me the stuffed animal? Yeah, that's the stuffed animal.
Okay, so in the last video, you saw the questions, and those were from foundational learning skills and perceptual learning skills. You saw with the very first question with the block, when I said, point to the one that matches mine. He kept wanting to point to my block. So I explained to him how to do it. That way, he at least had a fair chance at getting the next ones right if he knew the answer, if he knew the SD. So I was right. All I had to do was cover up the block or the picture on the top, and he was able to point to the ones that were the same. A program goal that we could get from the assessment from the last video is scanning an array. So to me, it seemed like Anderson was not looking at the whole picture. He was just focusing on the one that I pointed at. So this program says that when provided with an array of 3 to 10 items, the participant will select a preferred item. So this would be a goal. It gives you the materials you would need, and it also gives instructions. So it says, present a preferred edible or toy along with 2 to 9 other edibles or toys. Tell the participant to choose one. Provide the item that the participant chooses. So here, the child has to scan the array to choose an item. This would be good for Anderson because I don't think he is looking at the whole field when we are giving him an array or a field. This was only a field of 10, or it was only a field of 4. So we would definitely have to start small and work our way up.
All right. Show me the toothbrush. Wow, good job. Show me the bread. Good trying. That's the bread. Okay. Show me the horse. Good boy.
Here's the data on the last video. He did a great job being able to find the toothbrush. He did a great job being able to find me the farm animal, the horse. And he struggled with the loaf of bread. He pointed to pizza, so that's something that is made out of bread. I found a program goal idea and I brought it out of the book. It's receptively labels items by features. So I figured if we'd work on this, then he could identify that different things have features. So we can work on things that are made out of bread. The difference between just plain bread and something that's made out of bread. Something that is made out of wood. Something that's made out of metal. These are all targets that we can work on with listen responding in different fields.
All right. Say clap loudly. Good boy. Say, what is your name?
What's my name?
Good job. Okay, we're gonna pause.
Okay, so I botched this one a little bit. Well, these two, so learn from my mistakes. Now I can't go back because I don't have the kid with me. But the script says, say clap loudly, meaning I'm supposed to tell him to clap loudly, not actually say. And then the next one was, I was just supposed to ask him his name. So learn from my mistakes. Don't do what I did. Although I am going to give him a point for PLS 7 because I have asked him to see if he can do it. I will say that it is a little harder to understand his name because he does have a speech issue, but you can get it. Even a novel person, I think, would get it. Now, the first one, the PLS 6, I'm just going to count as a 0 because I messed it up and I can't go back.
Anderson, what is this?
A deal.
A chair. Perfect. What is this?
A door.
Good. All right, you ready?
All right, so you saw here that he was able to get the what is this for chair, but he was not able to get the what is this for dress. So I gave him a point for the first one, and I gave him a 0 for the second one. And this is in the perceptual learning skills. Towards the end of the video, you could see that I was kind of losing him. So I assessed motivation, we took a little break, and then we came back. Okay, so moving on to program goals for the last video. You saw that Anderson was not able to tact a dress. I know for a fact that both of his moms never wear dresses, and I don't think he's ever wore a dress, so he's just not familiar with it. So when I'm a BCBA and this happens, I will do a program for tacts. This is the ideas that came out of the PEAK assessment book. The one that I would target mostly is tact IC. So after observing his or her immediate environment, the participant will say the name of the objects or the people in the environment. And here's where you could start tacting different types of clothes in the natural environment. They have other programs for tacting. It would be great to put all of these in to build off of them. You could do tact items by feature. In an array of 10, you'd say, find the short sleeve shirt. That's a feature. Then you would do tact item class. When presented with a picture, the participant will name a category that the item belongs to. So it gives you ideas of where to start and which ones to move on to. Maybe different slices in your program.
Anderson, point to your knee. Can you point to it? That's your knee. There you go. Okay. Anderson, show me the rectangle.
What is it?
Just try. That is it! Oh my goodness, you knew it. Okay, Anderson, show me brown. That's brown. What? You didn't tell me you knew your colors. Okay. Show me flower. That's a flower.
I have power.
You have one?
Yeah.
Do you want to show me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Outside.
Okay, on the last slide, you saw that Anderson was not able to point to his knee when asked to do so. In the second question, I said, find the rectangle. He said, what's the rectangle? And I said, well, just try. And he got it right, so I gave him a point. And then he got the next two right too. So out of that set, he only got one wrong. Okay, in this section, we saw that Anderson was not able to point to his knee. This is a program goal that I would put in, tack body parts. I would put it in as a tack before an LR because essentially he is tacting when you're saying point to your knee. It's just a listen, respond, tack your knee. So it gives you examples of what you could start with. Leg, arm, ear, hair, eyes, mouth, feet, hand, fingers, elbows. This way we could get a good program started of all of Anderson's body parts and we can get them mastered out systematically.
All right. Show me the H. Good working. All right. You have this on your hand. What is it?
A power.
Good working.
It's no power.
What is it?
A star.
It is a star.
I said wrong.
Yeah, you said it, but you fixed it. Okay. What color? Red. Yeah. Good job. All right. Anderson, say ribbit.
Ribbit.
Ribbit. A froggy says ribbit. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. All right, I need you to say what I say. Stand up and turn and clap your hands. I messed that up. Let's say it again. Try to say this. Stand up, turn around, and clap your hands. Wow, you got it. Okay. Ready?
Five.
Listen, what comes next? L, M, N, O.
B.
What? This boy knows his alphabet. What number is this?
5.
It is a 5. Rock and roll. All right. Which letter says Good trying, buddy. Okay. You fixed it. You fixed it. Good job.
The first three questions were from the perceptual learning and skills. We then moved on to the next questions, which is verbal comprehension skills. As you saw, Anderson was not able to show me the H in the PLS, and he was able to tell me it was a star. He fixed it by himself. I had not given him any remarks, so he fixed it by himself, so I still gave him that point for the star. And he even said to me, I said it wrong, which was funny. And then moving on to the VCS, he was able to do ribbit, ribbit. I accidentally messed up and said, say, stand up, turn around, and clap your hands, but he did it anyway, so I go ahead and I went and gave him a point for that. He did the LMNOP. He was able to tell me the number 5. Now, the VCS 5, he did fix his answer, but he fixed his answer after I said, good trying. So he heard my feedback and he fixed it. Now, the PLS 15, I didn't give any feedback. He just said, oh, I said that wrong, star. So that's why I gave him the point. And that's the difference, is you can be a little lenient on ones that you're realizing that they fixed it themselves, not based on your feedback, because that's after the fact. If they're fixing it just on their own cue, then I would give them the point. Okay, after these last couple videos, it was very apparent to me that Anderson did not know his alphabet. He may be able to sing it in the song, but that's probably just rote learning. I don't think he could actually tact each one of them. So I pulled up this program goal, and it says tact letters by sound. So you show the participant a picture of a letter, and you say, what sound does this make? But I would also want it taught as you say the sound and you say, what letter is this? What letter is this? And I think that if this were my client, I would also throw in tacting letters. Hold up the letter. What letter? C. What letter? K. I would try to make it fun. He's a young learner, so I would probably get some plastic letters and make it more of a game than anything else. He knew his numbers. He was very strong in the numbers. It was just the letters that was a little rough.
All right, Mr. Anderson, which one is crying? Yes, that's crying. He's going boo hoo, boo hoo. All right. Hey, Anderson. You want to read that book?
Yeah.
Okay, first, tell me something that has spots. You don't know? A ladybug has spots.
All right, so in these last videos for the verbal comprehension skills, we saw that he was able to listen and respond to the child that was crying in a field of 3, so he was able to do that. Now, he was not able to tell me something that had spots as a feature. So I thought a really good program would be this one, which is sort items by feature. So you have pictures in front of you. It doesn't have to be pictures, it could be objects too. You can sort by color, you can sort by farm animals, you can sort by spots, any feature that you think is necessary for the child to know. I liked this idea of sorting into different bowls because this way we can hit more features at the same time. So we could do spots, we could do stripes, and we could do X's. And I think that this would definitely help Anderson start to realize the different features of objects.
Are you done
Almost. Anderson, who is this?
now? A doctor?
A doctor? That is a doctor.
I not like doctor.
You don't like them? Okay. Which person is feeling wet? Yeah, they're in the rain. They're wet. Okay. Which one does not belong? Good trying, buddy. It's the hat. Because this is a fruit and this is a fruit. But I love how you're trying. Okay, so listen. Bob's balloon popped. What might he be feeling?
On this last set, Anderson got 2 right and 2 wrong. Well, technically he never said an answer for the last one, BCS11, but I just assumed that if he knew the answer, he would have said it, and he kind of shied away. So I just prompted him to say, oh, I don't know, and we moved on. He also got the one of which one doesn't belong, the hat. So those are the 2 he got wrong. And I was actually really impressed that he was able to get the one of which one is feeling wet, because I've never talked about that with him. So with the peak, I found 2 examples of good program goals for the one that Anderson missed about emotions. If Bob's balloon flew away, how would he feel? Anderson had no idea how to respond to that. So I thought a good idea would be with tacting an emotion goal and receptively labeling emotions. Now I would run these at the same time I would put them in at the same time, because I think that sometimes when it comes to emotions, it's easier to generalize when you're learning it in two different operands. So with the tacting emotions, we would have picture cards of somebody who maybe dropped their popcorn or dropped their plate or getting hit in the head with the ball. How are they feeling? Sad, right? They're going to have a sad face. And then we can systematically fade those pictures to where we could just be like, you show a picture of someone who has dropped their popcorn. How are they feeling? Sad. Then you could put that down, turn it into an interverbal. Okay, so I dropped my popcorn. How am I feeling? Sad. This way you went from a tact to an interverbal. And then eventually you can just say, oh man, I dropped my food. How am I feeling? And hopefully he can fill it in. Now, the other program, receptively labeling emotions, this one would be in like a field of 3 to 10, and it would just have pictures of people's faces. Which one's feeling excited? Touch. Which one's feeling happy? Touch. I find that those get kind of hard because some emotions look similar, like excited and happy. So when I make those fields, I don't tend to have happy or excited in the same field. Anderson was not able to get what doesn't belong with the field of 2 fruit and 1 hat. So this would be a good program goal of which one doesn't belong. So you could put cards, or you could put objects in a field of 3. You could build the field up 2 as you go, but I'd start with a field of 3. And you could do things like food, vehicles. You could even do school items, anything you think that would relate to his everyday life.
Touch 9:30. Wow. Okay. Good job. You got it right. Okay. What does this say?
C-E-L.
Good. Trying, honey. Okay. Anderson.
2 feet.
Here's the data for the last video for the verbal comprehension skills. Anderson, to my surprise, was able to get the 9:30. I had no idea he could tell time. Could have been a good guess, or his mom said they do work with him on it. So the next one, what does it say? Toy. He was just giving me letters and it wasn't the right letters. So we will hit that target reading by first starting to tact letters. I think that's a little more important than reading full words. We gotta crawl before we can walk, so we will start with letters and then move on to words or sounds.
Do you see this picture here? Where are they? School. You're at school. Good job. Okay. Can you show me his head? Sorry, I'll say it again. Show me his head. That was his head. You got it right. All right. If you don't know the answer, say, I don't know, okay? Show me 5 cents. You don't know? That's okay. No big deal. Okay, if you don't know, you can just say, I don't know. Ready? Show me 15 cents. Good. Okay. Can you tell me how many dots? How many dots are on this page, Anderson?
Moving on to the next video. This was in the verbal comprehension skills, and we started a new section of the verbal reasoning, memory, and math skills. So as you can see from the data, he got what does it say for toy wrong. He also got what group does it belong in. It was a tiger, and he was supposed to say animal. And then he got that wrong. And then he also got where are they? And it was a school. So he got a 0 there. That was 3 zeros in a row. He asked to sit down and do more work. So I just said, okay, why not try it? he ended up getting the show me his head right, and he got the which one is 15 cents right, but he didn't know show me 5 cents. So that leaves me to believe that he was just guessing on the nickel and the dime one. Now, since he was getting so many wrong in a row, I just said it's time to be done. He only had maybe 9 questions left, so I did as much as the assessment that I was comfortable pushing him. And in the next slide, I'll go over some goals that we can hit with our program to help get these 0s to 1s. All right, so this would be a great program goal for sorting items by class. I think this would be a great start for Anderson, just to learn different classes and understand what that means. So how I've seen this done before is you have 3 different items. Maybe it's food, clothing, or animals. And you have 3 little bins, and your direction is to sort. Now, obviously, you prompt as needed, maybe gesture, maybe physically, whatever they need, going least intrusive. Now, something that I like to do, just because I like to build on what we're already doing. So once we've sorted, it would be a great way to play and just insert listen response here. This way we can start teaching across the operants, and the child could already be prepared for the next step. So you're not gonna ask the question, you're just gonna give them the answer. So we'll start with the sort, that's really the target we're hitting. And then if you're in the animal bin, you could say, look, it's a cow. What's the cow say? Moo. And then that way the kid says moo. And now you're learning how to sort. And then you're learning the next step of LRs, of what these things say or what you use them for. It's just a great learning opportunity that you don't want to mess up, or you don't want to pass. I say teach where you can, get all the learning opportunities as possible, but don't frustrate the kid. Give them the answer. Just tell them. And then next time, maybe they'll get it. Maybe they'll get it after the next 20th time. And then when it's time to do LRs, they've already got it in the bag. Now we're going to move on to the scoring section of this behavior skills training. Now, each section is out of 16 points. So on the foundational learning skills, this is where Anderson did the best. He only missed 3, so he got a 13 out of 16. And then the next one was perceptual learning skills. He got an 11 out of 16. The next was verbal comprehension skills. He got a 9 out of 16. Now, verbal reasoning, memory, and math skills, he only got a 1 out of 16, so that was his lowest score. And out of 64, he got a 34, so he got about half. And we will move on to the next slide, and you will see this on the triangle that was created by Dr. Mark R. Dixon to help us have a visual of where the client is. This is the performance matrix. It is used as a means of visually organizing the results of the assessment. The skill level gets harder as you go down the matrix. So as you can see, the easier ones are at the top, and Anderson has filled in most of those boxes. Now it gets harder when you get towards the base, and that's why Anderson has none on the very bottom, because he's such an early learner. You fill in the color of the box when the client is able to answer the questions independently. So each assessment you do, each date, so say you do an assessment in March, and then you decide to do another assessment in April. You would write those different dates, and the dates would be different colors. And having these as different colors helps you, it allows you to visually gauge the rate of skills acquired during each assessment. So by the end of this, we will want to have this whole thing filled out. By the end of his ABA career. We want this whole thing filled out. We want all of these goals met. Now these numbers come from the book. Every question we ask has a number, and if they get that question right, you fill that number in on the matrix. If he doesn't, you leave it blank. Now these are the goals that you're trying to implement for the program. All of these blanks are program goals. Definitely don't put them all at the same time. This would be way too much at one time. But I would start with Anderson towards the top and try to work my way down. Thank you so much for watching my behavior skills training on the PEAK assessment. I did the direct training module, and I hope it finds you well, and I hope it helps you with guiding you in your program and the assessments that you need to do with the PEAK. I've had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope that it helps people. Thank you.